taking a look at Brady's history of his career, where it stands right now, there is perception, there is reality. A lot of times perception becomes reality. So we have to talk about how all of this influences legacy, which you would assume he has at least partially is concerned with at this point. How much do you think this impacts that, Solly?
You know, I think a lot of people are going to look at this. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's our job to cover players. It's our job to watch and see how they go about doing their work. And we tend to go out and report everything that we see. And I've always known Tom Brady to be a first-class professional. Covered his career for 15 years since he's been in the National Football League. And I have nothing but positive things to say about Tom Brady. I love the way that not only he prepares, but how he produces on game day. People don't pack stadiums to watch the owner's own or the coach's coach. They come to watch the players play. And he has always acquitted himself very well. But there are going to be people that are going to take some of that perception that's now swirling around Tom Brady, and they're going to try to put it on his report card. I don't know that that's been proven that he did anything. And for me, he's still a great quarterback. He continues to be that. That's how I would like to remember him. But at the end of the day, I'm still sort of collecting the information, trying to figure out and clear the fog to figure out the substance of the matter. I go by more than what's probable. I go by what's substantial.
Yeah, look, when we go to legacy talk, people can say all they want. Oh, Tom Brady's a cheater, this and that. Look, in the big moment, the second half of that AFC Championship game when the balls were inflated to the proper levels, he was 12 of 14. New England outscores Indianapolis 28-0. And he was fantastic in that second half of the Super Bowl, guys, against the best secondary in the NFL. So I'm not going to say the man is a cheater. When he, like you said, Solomon, when he played in the big moment, he played well. People are going to say the first 3 Super Bowls are going to be by the Patriots. Going to be cast.
They don't know that.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I hate because there's so many players who did great things with that organization. Besides Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, you know, you got the Brewskis, the McGinnis, the Ty Laws, the Lawyer Malloys, all these guys who've done great things who are all affected by this conversation. And that's a shame because, again, we talk legacy here. I think this is one of the greatest franchises that we've seen, at least in recent sports history. And the things that they have done on the field with everybody involved in there, I think, to me, can't be challenged, can't be blemished.
Well, this isn't over. I'm an unabashed Tom Brady fan as a person and as a player. And the fact that we're talking about his legacy right now in any sort of way other than is he the absolute greatest or only one of the top 5 is a bummer. And I don't like the fact that our league's in this position. I believe that there is substantial evidence that has yet to be answered for. And unfortunately, the only answers we're hearing from Tom Brady's camp right now, to me, are farcical. And that's a word I chose carefully because Don Yee, his agent, says this is a farce. There's an agenda. Nobody in Tom Brady's camp has answered, to me, what is very compelling evidence. And I hope that when all is said and done, Tom Brady gives us a much more comforting sense of why this evidence exists.
Well, when you talk about his legacy, and that means you have to go back through history. And I've read the tweets. I've read some of the comments that are out there, and people say, well, they must have been doing it for a long time. And it's funny how people tend to believe things that they can't see, tend to believe things that aren't there in terms of the substance. I'm speaking specifically to people who are talking about this has been happening forever. This has been happening throughout his career. I'm talking specifically to that. Well, we're talking about legacy, so I think it is relevant. And so the point that I'm speaking to specifically is when people start saying that this has helped them to win Super Bowls, we don't know that. And so people tend to believe more in what they don't know as opposed to what they do know or what's right in front of them.
And quickly, he's going to have at least 12 games.
But that's the question.
He's going to have at least 12 games this season to come in and put a zipper on all of this, too. So he can come in and play to maybe put an exclamation point on all of the conversation when he comes back this season.
But I want to clarify, even if it didn't help him do a thing, which is a very possible take that you could have on this, because he's that great, Coach Belichick is that great, they're that great. It might not have helped him do anything, but if you are found to have violated the integrity of the game intentionally, your legacy is still affected.
You sort of lose the benefit of the doubt. I think that's what you're saying here. And I think that's part of the conversation. But when you talk about legacy, people are going to go back. but I think you have to be careful in attributing things to what has happened when you don't have strong proof about what's happened in the past.
And I think that's what it comes down to, is that this is the standard of proof here, at least generally aware of inappropriate activities. That's all the Wells report says about Tom Brady's involvement. It doesn't say he came up with some master plan to cheat. It doesn't say that he gave out some sort of orders. It says he was at least generally aware of inappropriate activities. So there's a blurry line there as far as how much we think he cheated or not.